Brother Eye coming October 7th. I don't know why I said it like that. It felt like I was talking about a CBS TV series. Basically, there are some reworks that are coming to the game. However, don't worry. They make it very, 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 very clear that there are no nerfs in here. And they're right. But there are some massive changes to lifesteal, to sacrifice, to Constantine, to every. Let's just get to the video.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die!
Hi guys, I'm Gardner here, and this is a DC Rose Collide video. In this video, I'm going to go over the Brother Eye Update 2. It goes live on October 7th, as they put in this blog. Now, I'm not going to hit every point. If you want to see the blog, go to DCRoseCollideGame.com. It's up there under the news tab. There is a lot of stuff in this. If I read this whole thing, it might as well be me reading you a bedtime story for 20 minutes before you go to sleep. But I'm going to try to hit some of the major points. And it feels like it's a lot of good news. I'll put it that way. A lot of stuff that I am eager to try out and see how it interacts within the environment of DC Rose Collide. But today we're discussing, okay, so I am Brother Eye. Systems confirm augmentation. I could have just skipped this part if I was trying to save time. Files recalibrated and observed universal growth. The grid adapts, superiority spreads. Okay, so today we're discussing the next Battle Eye Recalibration, which is planned to be released on October 7th. Our first Brother Eye update happened prior to our worldwide release and nerfed the hell out of some of my favorite characters and ruined a lot of the game. So for some, this may be the first time you've seen an update of this magnitude. It is huge. This recalibration is special, as there are only buffs to characters. Nobody is being nerfed. So this time, not every time, please don't nerf anybody. It's better just to buff. Don't nerf. Don't nerf. As with our last major Brother Eye recalibration, we have the same goal. We want every character to be exciting when you pull them, to have a team for them to work well with, and to have modes that they perform well in. The latest recalibration, we're focusing on rebalancing the characters who have not been as useful as we'd hoped, and revamping a few team synergies that weren't living up to their potential. A few characters have full ability reworks, but even more have smaller adjustments that should have big impacts. They're not wrong about that. I have read through some of the stuff, and I'll skip through a lot of this right now. I have read through a lot of the stuff, skimming, which is why I know I can't read this whole thing. It's massive. But there were some things that especially happened at the end in terms of like how some of the buff mechanics work, how some of the healing mechanics work, that do cause like major shifts, like major shifts in what's happening. Now, Mera's kit, I will not go over it. I did do a guide on Mera, and I'll do another one when I get up to rank H, which should be relatively soon. I will touch on the fact that in her ultimate, they've now added a stack of Frostbite, and then on the level 2, you get an additional stack of Frostbite. So by the time you get to level 2, she's putting down 2 of them. On the advanced attack, she's also adding Frostbite. The second Dolphin always inflicts Frostbite with the level 2 of that. And then the third Dolphin always inflicts a stack of Frostbite. So you could put down as many as 3 stacks of Frostbite when using the advanced attack. So, and then she was changed from agile to tactical. And they did say that part of this was because to like go along with her like lore in the comic book. But I think these are good changes. This helps her run along with Aquaman, and they put this out now, which is why I don't really need to cover it that much, because they wanted her to run with Aquaman as they released him. Now, this is huge. Lifesteal is now considered as healing. This means lifesteal will work well with Kid Flash Team Synergy, Heal Crits, Star Sapphire's Heal Collection. This is massive for Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire I was trying to use in the very beginning with heals, and it was nice to be able to run her with Black Canary, who you can't run after like mid-game basically because her levels don't go up high enough. And Kid Flash, he does provide a lot of heals, but it's on his ultimate and his advanced attack, which is good. However, it's not going to be as good as when Zatanna had her 15% lifesteal way back in the day. Way back, meaning 3 months ago. So having lifesteal count as heal is big for loading up on Star Sapphire's heal collection, which she then uses to do damage. So that makes her a better damage dealer. and Martian Manhunter's ultimate. Lifesteal will also be reduced by decreased heal from the back cycle, poison reduction, and will no longer heal when countered by Poison Ivy's team synergy, which makes Poison Ivy very, very powerful. The only problem with Poison Ivy is the fact that she needs other poison characters for her team synergy, and she only has Scarecrow and Penguin, which Penguin I do not like, especially since they say he's good once you get his badge to level 30. Do you know how hard it is to get badges to level 30, and you want me to just believe that he's good until that point? No, thank you. I'm done. And then Scarecrow is an elite. So 2 epics and an elite, I'm not going to put a lot of investment in getting her team synergy done. Those are the only poison characters in the game so far. I should go double check that though to be on the safe side. Characters like Zatanna and Two-Face can add lifesteal to allies and others. That's what I was talking about before, including the newly reworked Weasel. This part is also awesome and bad because I just did a video on Weasel and Dr. Phosphorus. But now I can talk about the changes when I do their second video. Hard hit. Riddle me this, Batman. Basically, we're gonna skip all that. Hard hit now increases damage given from the next non-ultimate attack by 20% instead of 10. So they doubled how hard hit is. Now beware, this is like the next non-ultimate attack. So hard hit stays for that 20, hit, and then go back. This goes to the Bride is the first one I can think of that gives like hard hit when she gets rid of her, when she loses HP, she gives hard hit to her allies. Also, I can't remember if Judo Master gives hard hit or strong attack. Can somebody in the chat like help me out with that? I think Judo Master gives hard hit, but I'm not 100% sure. This is pretty massive. Steppenwolf is stage 3 boss in League Challenge. His unique ability Cross Cleave will instantly defeat an opponent. Previously, Cross Cleave skill would bypass invulnerability shields like from Cyborg's ultimate or the Screwdriver helmet, as well as death protection skills held by characters such as Superman and Superman DCU. Well, the Bride is still squishy, Mr. West, until you read what comes up next, because the Bride is also getting a rework. We'll get there. So Steppenwolf's Cross Cleave no longer bypasses invulnerability, which opens up a bunch of options, which makes Aquaman incredibly valuable in this scenario as well. If you're dealing with like Peacemaker having the Screwdriver helmet up, if you have Superman DCU, it wouldn't be recommended to run Aquaman because then they will get to their invulnerability and then instantly have 2 sets of invulnerable on them instead of just 1. At the same time, you would rather stagger those. But if he's going to take you all the way until like invulnerable with Superman and Superman DCU, you don't need Aquaman there. However, with Peacemaker, if you're running the Screwdriver or on anybody you're putting the Screwdriver helmet on, then maybe more so. However, ultimate point being is that this changes a bunch of things that I am able to do just having Superman or Superman DCU running with them. Screwdriver helmet is an elite artifact, so not that hard to get, and I love it. It's actually pretty cool. Cyborg I don't have, so I don't have that much experience with his invulnerable, but that would be awesome. Now, speaking of she's still squishy, we're going to the Bride, whom I just pulled like a month ago. Excuse me, when I was pulling for Peacemaker. Now, the Bride I'm going to go through and see, like, look at all these kits. Dr. Phosphorus, like Weasel. There's so many kits. So I'm really going to try to hit the major points. But the Bride, I'll be honest, I have her. So it's a little bit more interesting in the sense of I know how this is going to react to her a little bit differently. When the Bride, and this was a massive thing. When she revives, when she receives a fatal attack, she revives with 80% of her max HP instead of just 1 HP. She would basically revive. I can't even remember if it was like 1 or 5%. It didn't matter because she would revive and instantly die. And then her crit rate increases by 50% for the rest of battle, and she instantly performs her basic attack. So now she's going to crit a lot easier if I can get her up to like 50% crit once she revives. She's at 100% crit now. And then it always had 100% lifesteal, I believe. Next. On her badge levels, the first level, the Bride performs an additional basic attack whenever Undying is triggered. Okay. Undying bonus crit rate increases to 100% for the rest of battle. So when Undying happens, it was 50%. Now if I do this, it goes up to 100%. When triggered, the bride gains 20% damage reduction for the rest of battle. So now when she comes back, she is going to take 20% less damage. So tougher to kill. Next, the bride's stat growth. So they're increasing her stats so that she will have 4% more defense. Isn't that much to me? I'm still going to have to build her because she is squishy. She has a ton of HP, but that HP goes fast. So I still want to build her with a lot of defense. And then the attack going up by 12%. Well, a little bit of attack is always good. So for Dr. Phosphorus, I will explain that. I will read their conceptual thing here. Dr. Phosphorus has always been a conceptually cool character. Our team loves it when a single target can break the rules of DC Worlds Collide. In his case, Dr. Phosphorus cannot detonate and instead can stack up burn to help himself heal. All those burns stacks can amplify his ultimate damage to theoretically absurd levels. In practice, he often died far too quick and never got a chance to shine. So in order for them to rectify that, they kind of did the opposite of the Superman thing, and not kind of, they did exactly that, where Dr. Phosphorus has 50% superpower reduction. So he's going to take 50% less damage from superpower damage, but he's more susceptible to physical damage. So he's going to take less damage from Sinestro, but more damage from Green Arrow or Wonder Woman, if that makes sense. And then reflect is increased by 20%. So anything that he's reflecting back in terms of you hit him, he hit you back, is increased by 20%. Let's go on down. Enemies now inflicted with 1 burn. Okay, so we'll skip all that part. Now the passive ability. This was on his first passive ability. On his second passive ability, heat immunity. I'll read all 3. Dr. Phosphorus cannot detonate burn and can accumulate a maximum of 99 stacks. At the start of his turn, Dr. Phosphorus heals himself for 1% of his max HP for each stack of burn he has, with a maximum of 5% max HP per turn. This was 3, they increased it to 5. But this amount of heal is increased to 10%. This is what I'm talking about. We get up to 15%. Now that's what we want. That's what we want. So like I guess you have to stack and like reasons to build them up. 10% is awesome. 15%, that much better. 5%, but all right. So now the basic ability, Fusion Fire. Phosphorus sacrifices 5% of his current HP to attack an enemy, dealing 100% of his attack as superpower damage. Now, Dr. Phosphorus inflicts 1 stack of burn on the enemy and 2 stacks of burn on himself at level 2. He does want burns on him. He does. It does help him a lot. Dr. Phosphorus adds 2 stacks of burn to the enemy and 4 stacks of burn to himself. Ultimate ability, go nuclear. No change to this, basically. Deals 100% of attack as superpower damage to all enemies and 5% of attack as superpower damage to all allies. Allies cannot be defeated by this attack and will survive with HP. So he's damaging everybody. Now remember, this is going to change when I talk about Constantine, because it did change something massive in his kit, and it was only 1 word. Funny enough. So remember, this is causing damage your characters are not sacrificing. So running him with Aquaman doesn't mean that the sacrifice on those that loss of damage or HP on those characters is going to be mitigated by that passive from Aquaman. It means that it might help himself when he's doing sacrifice Dr. Phosphorus, but not when he's actually doing damage to his allies on this ultimate attack. Enemies take an additional 20% damage for each stack of burn Dr. Phosphorus has on him. That is nuts. And then the damage increases to 30%. That is absolutely nuts. It feels like he could wipe out a field with that. And then Dr. Phosphorus stats, his HP is increased by 19%, and then his other HP stat gained from leveling is increased by 27%. Now, this is a lot. Again, I'm not reading this whole thing, but I'll give you what they were thinking. Weasel has received some serious updates. Not only are several skills being brought up to power, he is also getting a complete rework to his badge and team synergy. Previously, Other than the general stat bonuses that all team synergies provide, Weasel's team synergy exclusively granted bonuses to Weasel. This was something that was weird to me. His whole team synergy was only geared towards him. And I was like, okay, but isn't this supposed to be a team synergy? Shouldn't everybody get benefits? Additionally, it didn't counter any other team comps. Generally speaking, we want the team synergy to be a fun space to build a team around and not focus solely on a single character. That I agree with 100%. Team synergy, the Weasel. All allies gain 25% shield penetration. Ally basic attacks dispel one stack of a random buff from the target. This is pretty huge. The first thing I thought of, and I know there's a billion other things that you can do with it. The first thing I thought of is the Under the Moonlight Poison Ivy Crisis Watch. When you're trying to get on stage 10, when you're trying to get the seduction off of Batman and Superman, this ability, this team synergy will help out with that a lot. When damaged by an ally, gain one stack of recuperate, one stack of haste. Okay, fine. Shield penetration is increased to 75%. All attacks against an enemy with shield will have 100% chance to crit. So we're gonna crit and we're gonna bypass 75% of their shields. Okay. Badge. Full rework. They changed everything. So at the start of battle, the front row ally with the highest max HP becomes Weasel's buddy. That's the same. Weasel can, oh wait, no. Wasn't this part on the team synergy? Is that the part that changed? Because I feel like Weasel can only deal 1 HP of damage on his buddy and will always target them with just a nibble. Anytime the buddy is damaged by any attack, Weasel gains 1 hard hit. Now forgive me, I'm going to go to the game real quick to double check on my Weasel. That feels so weird to say I'm double checking on my Weasel. Yeah, this was his team synergy. They moved his team synergy over to his badge. Smart. I like that a lot. Weasel eats up 2 types of debuffs when he nibbles his buddy. For each debuff he eats, Weasel and his buddy are healed by 5% of their max HP. I really like this. Is it great? But it's a 10% heal and you're removing a debuff from your highest HP tank, which just helps him be a tank. Damage to enemies from just a nibble increases to 200% and Weasel will always nibble an enemy after nibbling an ally. Okay, we can see that. Ultimate cost now is 3. Passive ability, all of Weasel's attacks apply 1 stack of bleed to the enemies for 1 turn. I guess it was not all of his attacks. Then you're gonna add on level 2 for his passive ability. When below 60%, all of Weasel's attacks apply an additional stack of bleed for 2 turns. And then when at or below 50% HP, all of Weasel's attacks have a 50% lifesteal. Yeah, I like that. So now everything else is the same. Mr. Terrific, don't get scared. Because the second I saw Mr. Terrific's name, I was worried. Yeah, Weasel's synergy looks nuts now. Weasel's team synergy does look nuts now. And I'm very happy that I just pulled him. But that is something serious. I actually kind of want him to be ranked 10 now. Okay, moving on. Don't get scared. This is actually improving Mr. Terrific. As though you can improve upon him, they manage. So basically, Mr. Terrific, where's the blah, 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 blah. His ultimate turnabout works by copying debuffs from your team and applying them to the opposite position on the enemy. However, if there were no corresponding opponents in the opposite position, like if the enemies were defeated or if you were fighting an evil false boss, then the duplicated debuffs would go nowhere. Now, if there is no enemy in a valid slot, it will apply debuffs to a random enemy. That is huge. That is a very, very, very big deal and improves Mr. Terrific by getting him to work the way that he should have, honestly. But I'm glad that they peeped game on that and that they changed it. Currently, his passive only triggers after losing so much health. Looks like they are removing that restriction. Yup. That is amazing. Let me go back and check on the so that's his, you said the passive, yeah. So let me see. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. So this is the one that I just read. You guys aren't seeing this right now because I'm not making the transition. When his HP drops below 40%, any bleed he inflicts lasts for 2 turns. That was the passive ability, Tooth and Nail. That is, I mean, I guess it's a thing, but I'm glad that it's different now. It's much better now. All right, sorry, I feel like I'm getting sick. Don't get sick. Don't get sick. Don't get sick. October 1, don't get sick. All right, here we go. The lanterns. A lot of the lanterns got some work done. A lot of them. I'm going to go through theirs a little bit more. Okay, I was going to say a little bit more carefully, but again, we're 20 minutes in and I'm halfway through this. All right, Guy Gardner. Yeah. Okay, so Guy Gardner is getting a small nudge, and this kind of makes sense. When an enemy does not have interference, his ultimate will now target the enemy with the lowest HP. Forgive. So I don't need to read all that. They're telling you exactly to the enemy with the lowest HP if they don't have interference. Cool. John Stewart, this is kind of a big deal for me. I'm not gonna read it like detail, but John Stewart has been on our list of reworks for a long time. He never felt like he was defensive enough to be a tank, for sure. Neither did he feel offensive enough to be a damage dealer, for sure. Additionally, he adds random debuffs with his basic and counterattack. It never felt that he attacked often enough to work well for the debuff team either. Facts. So, how about we address all of the above by making some changes to his ultimate, both passives and his badge, as well as give him some additional utility with other lanterns. The only problem, and this is the same thing, he is a mighty tank, and this is for my roster. I have Superman, OG Superman, I have Bride, I have Peacemaker. Like, I have 3 legendary mighty tanks, and if they made them tactical, if they changed them from mighty to tactical, because the only tactical tank we got are Lex, he sucks now, and Gorilla Grodd, I mean, he cool. So, like, that would have been nice. Anyway, sorry, not that important. Although I think, not that important. So they made changes. Ultimate ability. Creates a shield equal to 50% of his max HP. I'm going to literally go back to him now, just because I don't even have him in level link right now. I have him out. The characters that I do not have in level link right now are Damian, Penguin, Bizarro, John Stewart, Vixen, and Star Sapphire. And of those, I think Star Sapphire is the one that I want to put in the most. So that's just to give you an idea of how bad it has been. Yeah, he gains 30%. Okay, so he's giving himself shield now. This will help him run with, creates a shield equal to 50%. So this helps him run with Jessica Cruz. Then he constructs a sniper rifle. He gains 30% damage reduction, and 30% of the damage taken will be absorbed into the rifle. After 2 turns, he will attack the enemy with the lowest HP, dealing superpower damage equal to 300% of the attack, 300% of the amount absorbed. Each stack of weakness and sight adds 50% damage to the sniper shot. Shields increase to 75% of his max HP. That is awesome. When damaging the enemy, apply 1 stack of exhaustion. That is awesome. So going from 50% shields, now you're adding 75% shields. That is great. I like that a lot. During battle, increases max HP to by 10%. When attacked, gain 1 stack of weakness and sight. Okay. I like this a lot. And then damage reduction of weakness and sight increases to 4%. Okay, so I think they're going to give you an explanation for weakness and sight. If not, I'll go to his kit and just do it there. So passive. Has a 40% chance to counterattack the damage dealer when anyone on his team is attacked. So not just when he's attacked, when anyone on his team is attacked. Dealing superpower damage equal to 70% of his attack and inflicting 1 stack of a random buff, weakens slow armor break for 2 turns. I like this. I like this a lot. This is very Ocean Master. It feels like half the tanks aren't defensive enough. Fair. Actually, one of the most defensive characters is Superman DCU, and he's not even defensive. It's just his invulnerability. While aiming at his sniper, the counter also gains 70% lifesteal. This might have made him awesome. Just this passive alone. Because what is the thing I love about Ocean Master? He counters when he attacks when they attack everybody else, but they got a block. This one is if anyone on the team is attacked, he pops off. Hold up. Okay, and this is passive. Has a 40% chance to counterattack the damage dealer when anyone in his team is attacked. Which is like 40% block with Ocean. You know what I mean? Like it's not nuts. It's not nuts. I wish there was a way to increase that chance. Oh, if I could increase that chance to like 60%. That makes him not Ocean Master levels of good, but good. I can build a team around this now. I didn't even realize that. This is where I was in the skimming portion of my evening. I got halfway through the blog and I was like, I'm tired. But that is good. Okay, I gotta stop. Okay, because I'm gonna think about this for a while now. Additionally, he will always counter when he is hit by an enemy. This is good. Okay, I've said that a few times now. Damage and lifesteal increase to 100%. Damage and lifesteal increase to 120%. Okay. Damage type now properly deals superpower damage instead of physical. Thank you. At the start of battle, all Green Lanterns gain 1 stack of weakness in sight for each Green Lantern ally. And so weakness in sight. Let me go ahead and because I don't know it as well as I should. Let's go to weakness in sight on his kit. Let's see if it's anywhere around where they explain it. It might just be that it's just another stack thing, and that's just what they call it, I guess. Oh yeah, weakness in sight. Each layer of weakness in sight increases. Each layer increases by 2% and reduces damage, with a max of 10 layers, lasting up until the end of battle. So this is written kind of incorrectly in here, I think, but it's saying it increases attack by 2% and reduces damage. So it increases our damage by 2% and reduces the damage we take by 2% up to a stack of 5. So it's increased damage of 20% and then increase and decrease damage taken by 20%. They need to reword this. This looks really, really bad. I should transition, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. So that's awesome. What? I'm reading something else here too, and I wonder. Oh no, they changed the chance thing. Okay. I was about to say they had a chance thing in here, and I was like, that would be awesome because it would show that you have a chance to increase that counter, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Unless it says the word chance here with a capital. No. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't think you can increase the chance. In his kit, it has a thing that says chance where you can increase the chance by the number of debuffs that were on the damage dealer. They're not putting that in here specifically. I'm going to have to see how that goes in his kit. What's up, Farson? It's been a long time. Haven't been awake at this time in a while. Still watching Aang, even though I no longer play the game. Well, that's cool. I appreciate you. Watching. We're going through the blog right now. There's going to be some massive changes. So we're doing a video on it right now. All right, so Jessica Cruz. I was thinking that her shields that she gave on her ultimate were not that powerful, but apparently they are. It just felt like they weren't happening as large as I wanted them to be. But she has a fun little mini game where you can build up stacks of Power of Faith whenever an ally gains a shield. When you use those stacks to deal more damage, her badge increases to the maximum amount of stacks of Power of Faith and enables her to retain half of the stacks if she has enough. However, this mini game didn't have enough payoff to make it truly feel worthwhile. It kind of did at rank 8. It was the shield characters around her that kind of discouraged me from doing it. So increases attack by 15%. When an ally gains a shield, the next damage Jessica deals is increased by 2% of her attack. When an ally gains shield, the next damage Jessica deals is increased by 2% of her attack. Okay, the effect is stackable. Okay, so the wording, you should see the stacks. That's all it is. Like stacks go on and it adds 2% to her attack. Stacks are cleared after the attack. When she has at least 10 stacks, her ultimate costs 1 less ultimate point. Love that. Increases the max stacks to 20 as opposed to 10. If there are 8 or more stacks, half of the stacks will be retained after attacking. That's cool as hell too. So then this makes you really want to run her with other shield teams. On the ultimate ability, when you get all the way down to level 3, Jessica Cruz's ultimate no longer has a cooldown. So she can just keep doing that. She can keep doing that. Starfire has had a lot of stuff change. So Starfire has a unique passive ability where she deals extra damage and armor break to enemies in the front row. However, once the front row was defeated, she didn't have much to offer to her team. We wanted to give her something contextual and spicy. Additionally, we wanted to make one of her passives more thematic and have a stronger, most consistent, I guess that means more consistent benefit. All right, so the passive ability now gains energy for each enemy detonated. So when there's an enemy detonated, she's going to gain energy. When dealing damage, for every 2 enemies detonated, it is 1 energy. Okay, so they doubled it. All right. Once you get to level 3 of the passive ability. When dealing damage, if the target is not inflicted with burn, add 2 stacks of burn instead. Okay, so, and then the passive ability here, I'm just going to read the whole thing because most of it's yellow anyway. When attacking an enemy in the front row, increase damage by 10% and add 1 stack of armor break for 2 turns. When attacking an enemy in the back row, increase crit chance by 30% and 1 stack of weaken for 2 turns. I like that. That's kind of a different shift. Okay, cool. At the start of her turn, if there are front row enemies standing, gain 4 stacks of haste for 1 turn. That's nuts. If there are no front row enemies standing, reduce ultimate cooldown by 1. The ultimate cooldown, doesn't the ultimate already have like just a 2-turn, a 2 cost cooldown or whatever you want to call it? Hold on. I think the ultimate only costs like 2 in the first place. Or am I wrong? Am I tripping? Yeah, it only costs 2 in the first place. It only costs 2 in the first place. What is we doing? Okay, so the ultimate cost is reduced by 1 now. So she's just going to be doing that. And that happens at, let me go back one more time. Let me double check. So this is going to happen at rank 8. Do I have a rank 8 or rank 9? I have a rank 9. Why do I have her rank 9? Anyway, I guess it's a good thing I do have her rank 9. And then damage increased by 20% instead. Crit chance increased by 50% instead on level 2 for that passive. Bizarro, I'm kind of disappointed in. They didn't give him much. So on his advanced attack now, he puts down 1 burn. I think this was already in his badge where he would start doing burns. And then on his passive ability, Pretty Flower, just skipping past all this stuff to go to level 2. When the turn of an ally holding a flower ends, Bizarro and the ally heal themselves for 5% of their max HP respectively. When the ally holding the flower is defeated, Bizarro heals to full HP, which is kind of cool. Healed amount increases to 10% of respective max HP. So this does not mean I'm going to rush to develop Bizarro. Let's put that out there. This up here, though cool, I already have her developed. I'm not rushing to get her done. She might be fun if you like her. This will, but I'm a fan of Jessica Cruz. I'm a fan of Starfire too. This will more than likely get me working on Jessica Cruz a little bit more. And part of that is because of the lantern artifact. I want to be able to use that, and it does improve her. This is definitely like John Stewart is going into that 1 level link slot that I have missing. Green Lantern guy, I don't use him much outside of like the first area in our league challenge. I guess he's all right, but like that doesn't get me to go do anything. Mr. Terrific was already the best epic in the game, so just thanks for that. Weasel, this does make me want to work on Weasel more. I was already working on him, and Mera is the #1 priority, but this does make me really, really, really excited about Weasel. Dr. Phosphorus, we'll see. I feel like this is a very vigilante Guy Gardner thing where it is on this Creature Commandos team, he's going to be the first one taken off, but that he will be a ridiculous damage dealer. Vigilante is a ridiculous damage dealer. Guy Gardner, for me. All right, sorry, giving you like a recap here. Impromptu. And then the bride, I can't wait. I have the bride. I can't wait to work on her more. The Steppenwolf changes, the hard hit changes. Okay, fine. Now we go all the way back. We're almost there, guys. We're 35 minutes in. We're almost there. Damn, at least give Bizarro more HP he needs. I'm saying they didn't give him any kind of stat boost or anything. And it's okay. I mean, the thing is they've given us so much and we're getting towards the end of the like list. You would think 75%. But they have given a lot already that it's like, I'm okay with Bizarro not being great because that means I don't have to work on him. Yo. They did a lot of stuff for her kit. In order to talk about Vixen changes, we first need to talk about the badge bonus stats. This is going into how there were like major and minor increases in her attack bonus or HP bonus. They're changing those bonuses in her badge. I'm not about to read all of this. If you care, go to it. I'm just going to give you what the changes to the badge are. So the bonus stats at level 30. Major is health by 45%. Major 2, no change. Defense by 45%. Minor, no change. Block by 9.7%. Minor attack bonus 32.4%. There we go. Ultimate change. Vixen channels the power of the rhinoceros and charges at the enemy, dealing 450% of attack power as physical damage to the front row enemies and the middle enemy in the back row. The damage is shared across the 3 targeted enemies. So it's really 150 per. It's 150 per person. Per person who's getting hit. If the rhino charge would hit no targets, instead inflict a stun on the remaining enemies. So if nobody's, that's kind of, but that's already baked in. Then 600% here, so 200% per. It's not anything huge. I mean, I guess when you have this badge thing here, then this becomes a heavier hit, but this is not encouraging me to invest anything in with her. HP stat gained is 3%, whoop-de-doo. Defense is increased by 15%, yay. Block bug fix. Fixed an issue where in some scenarios the bonus block chance added by Pack Hunter would override all other block bonuses and reduce the block chance if they had higher. But okay, didn't know that was a thing. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge for Constantine. This is huge for Constantine. Blah 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 blah. They changed it because it was previously, and I talked about this in a video like 2 days ago. At the start of an ally's turn, they sacrifice, not lose, sacrifice. I just talked about this with Aquaman, saying that because it says lose, then you're not getting the benefits of that reduced sacrifice that you would get from Aquaman being on the squad. However, if they're sacrificing 15% now, that means that there's a 75% when you get to that level. Before that is 50%. There is a 75% reduction in the sacrifices being made. So this is going to go from 15% to, forgive the math, 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.5. So 3.75% damage. I probably did that wrong. So then this 15 gets down to 3.75%. Then we would have, I don't know, some lifesteal from Zatanna, maybe. That could be nice. Maybe go along with the Aquaman in there, the Constantine in there. The Tanner's also providing that frantic to make sure it hits hard. This could be a lot of fun. This could be a bunch of fun. This is a huge, huge, huge change. And it opens up a few other sacrifice mechanics, as well as making it such that for Deathstorm, who wants you to either sacrifice or heal, if you put Constantine down on the team and they're all sacrificing whenever they do any of their turns, you can effectively just stomp a mud hole into Deathstorm. Okay, so that is awesome. Team synergy. This is huge as well. There's a lot of stuff. We're 40 minutes in. I'm sorry this is a long video, guys. There's so much stuff. All right, so Kid Flash, we're not going to go into the blah, 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 but they just want to make his team synergy better. Because basically all it does is just more heals. I wasn't using it. So during battle, all allies gain 14% heal received at level 2 at the start of each ally's turn. Cleanse all burn stacks. We like that. And heal 5% of their missing HP for each stack cleansed. Love that. So you're going to cleanse the burns and heal for that. During battle, all allies gain 20% healing received bonus and 30% burn damage resistance. So when those burns go off, 30% damage reduction on those. Uh-oh. Sorry, Super Family and Mr. Terrific, who boosts the superpower damage behind the burns. That gets reduced too. At the start of each ally's turn, heal them for 5% of their missing HP and cleanse silence from them. So what does this turn him into? Did you say an AoE healer? Little bit. So now everyone, when they get their turn, they're going to heal for 5% of their missing HP, and then silence gets cleansed. Get silence off of Wonder Woman so she can go off. Get silence off of Batman so he can go off. Who am I talking to? Nightwing. Nightwing, who always puts silence on the character with the highest attack. Run Kid Flash. Ain't no silence, homie. All right, so let me go up here real quick. And I say up here, I am actually looking at his team synergy. So yeah, at the start of turn, Kid Flash heals for 5% of his missing HP. He was only healing himself. He was not healing everybody. So Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy is getting a slight adjustment to her level 3 team synergy to help solidify her place as an anti-healer. When an enemy has 8 or more stacks of poison, they can no longer heal. And now I'm wondering if this heal part also applies to shields. Because it'd be awesome if the poison goes down and you can no longer get shields, because that solves the Lex, who sucks as a character you can play, but is still a monster in PvE that you have to go up against. He puts stun, not silence, I think. Who puts stun, not silence? Oh, that's right. He does put stun, not silence. You're talking about Nightwing. That's right. Who am I thinking of? Wonder Woman puts out the silence. Black Canary puts out the silence when you haven't run with her in PvE. Dadgummit, I was happy. I forgot that it is stun, not silence. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Dadgummit. All right, so now I was scared when I saw Ocean Master up here. If you guys know this channel, y'all know how much I love Ocean Master. But Ocean Master has had a sneaky hidden bug with him for a while. His advanced ability was not appropriately applying block amount. I couldn't tell. This has now been fixed. Allies with Atlantean armor buff should now be taking much less damage when they block an attack. We love it. I was talking about Kid Flash. I was the one confusing things. That's 100% on me. So now they've changed a lot of the tags. I will not be going through all this stuff because we are already 45 minutes into this video, just about, and that is a lot. So let's talk about it. We just did, or at least I did, for a very, very, very long time. I like a lot of the stuff that's going on. A lot of the things that changed. I love the change that they made. This is a bug fix. We're a fan of that. This Poison Ivy thing is massive. If I can get, can you change Scarecrow to being an epic? I love me some Scarecrow, and his passive ability at the start of every round to add poisons until the end of battle. That's awesome. That's awesome. I would love for that to go. One thing I do need to check is, and maybe you guys can let me know, usually poisons have the effects on shield and heals, if I'm not mistaken. Does this mean that they say that they can no longer heal? I really wish that also meant that they can no longer gain shield. I really, really do, because then I would run Poison Ivy at Lex every time I run to Lex and System Recovery. This is amazing for Kid Flash. This might put him back as the second best, if not the, I don't know if this puts him over Mr. Terrific. And I was debating on whether it was Judo Master or Kid Flash. But he now has like AoE heals here and here. If you get him up to rank 10, it might be worth it. This change to Constantine is massive. It makes me want to take him up to rank 10 now, because now I can run him with Aquaman and other characters. Aquaman, basically. Vixen, this is a nothing burger. We're going to ignore most of it. The stats may make a big difference. You guys let me know, those of you who are working on Vixen, but this is not going to make me want to use her. Oh, yeah, only thing the heal that relates to shields is the heal crit. Okay, that sucks. All right, I'll look at it, but like you said, wouldn't expect it to happen. And then Bizarro, nice. I mean, this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. This is not changing my mind on whether I'm going to work on him right now or not. I'm not. What you did to John Stewart definitely has me changing my mind. I don't want to forget. I think I'll put him in level link right now so I don't forget. Jessica Cruz, that was Jessica Cruz's stuff was nice. I was already working / want to work on Jessica Cruz, so this didn't change my mind. However, I could very much see where others are like, okay, it's cool, but I'm not finna do it. John Stewart, I really want to know how this counterattack works. I really want to see it in action. I cannot wait. That is my most anticipated right now. So, well, not most, but one of Guy Gardner. That's just kind of logical. I like that. Mr. Terrific, this is a fix that was awesome. Very, very cool. Weasel, this is another one that's going to be highly anticipated. I can't wait to get this to work. It's very smart for them to put the team synergy into the badge. I love that. So Weasel definitely on the list I'm going to work on. Dr. Phosphorus, I'm going to treat like Vigilante. I'm going to work on him and develop him, but there's no rush. And then the Bride, I just can't wait to see her perform. I already have her to a very good level. This change to Steppenwolf is amazing for theory crafting behind it, so you can defeat him. Excuse me. Hard hit. Now I'm thinking, if Constantine has that sacrifice mechanic, and every time the Bride loses HP, she's giving out hard hit, and then I can make sure that sacrifice is not that big of a deal with Aquaman, and then I can run Judo Master, and since Judo Master wants to have anti-heroes running with him for his team synergy, just pop a Vigilante on the other side, a Peacemaker on the other side. Bride is an anti-hero. We're having fun. Seeing as how Judo Master crits all the time, let's go ahead and drop some hard hit on him. Lifesteal changes was amazing, and then Mera's change was amazing. So thank you guys for watching. This video was damn near 50 minutes long. Hopefully you found it helpful. I hope you watched it on 2x. But then again, I talk very, very fast. So if you watched it on 2x and then listen to my ramblings, God help you. You are amazing. Your brain should be studied. Thank you guys for watching. Please please subscribe. If you don't like it, hit subscribe and a dislike. I'm okay with that as well. I think they can do more about the tag boosting equipment stats. That might be down the line in the future, but I'm going to say I am happy with this blog so far. I'm happy with the changes that they made. I am Team Mera, even though I'm a Wonder Woman fan. I am Team Mera when it comes to that, because she was just being a loyal wife. Wonder Woman ain't have to come in there and stomp on her, home wrecker. Anyway, and I love Flashpoint Paradox, if you couldn't tell. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.